Hello, my name is Amy Lightfoot. I work for the British Council in India, and we're here at the 11th Language and Development Conference in Delhi. I'm here with Hywel Coleman. Hywel is originally from the UK, but has been based in Indonesia for the last 26 years. He's an honorary senior research fellow at the University of Leeds, and also one of the trustees for the Language and Development Conference series. For this particular conference, Hywel has also been working as our lead academic advisor, and so I thought we'd have a little conversation about those two roles that you've played, and if you could first maybe tell us a bit about the trustees and what they do.
Okay, thanks. The Language and Development Conference series trustees are 11 individuals who share a similar concern with language issues in development contexts. And since 1993, we've been working together to plan a series of conferences. This is the 11th, it's just finished today. Our role is to, first to identify host institutions which will be willing to organize a particular conference, an individual conference. We have an idea about what a language and development conference should be. We try to make sure that each individual conference fits into the series, that it offers something new, that it chooses a theme which is relevant to the general direction of the conference series. So our advice is, our role is to advise and guide, but not to organize conferences directly. We then we have a website where the proceedings of all the conferences are made available and are free to download. So it's a very, very rich resource that people can access at our website, www.langdev2015.org. And we interact with other organisations which share similar interests, including the British Council. So our role is to make resources available, to offer advice, and to encourage future conferences.
Okay. And am I right in saying that the Language and Development Conference takes place every 2 years?
That's right. The conferences take place every 2 years, always in a different country. Our ideal is that we should move alternately from Asia to Africa. It doesn't always work perfectly because it depends on who is willing to host the next conference. But that's our general plan.
And the previous conference was in Cape Town, that's
right? The previous one was in Cape Town, the one before was in Sri Lanka. There's been an earlier one was in Ethiopia. There have been several in Southeast Asia, Central Asia and South Asia.
Fantastic. And it's the first time the conference has been in India.
Yes.
This time, yeah. So when is the deadline for people who might be interested in putting in a proposal?
Right. The 2017 conference, the deadline for making initial proposals at least, is February, the end of February. And our experience is that we will receive 2 or 3 initial indications of interest. They then need to be, through negotiation between the trustees and the potential hosting partner, these need refinement and clarification, and we usually end up with one, well, we always end up with one substantial proposal, which then goes ahead. And then we also continue to provide advice to the hosting partner throughout the preparation process.
Great. And we'll put the link to the website where you can get more information. We'll put it in the video, in the text that accompanies the video.
Thank you.
So I think we'll turn now to the current conference, and I just wondered if you could give us, we've just finished, just had the closing ceremony, and I wondered if you could give us your reflections on the conference, how it went, and maybe some of the themes that were the most important for you.
Right. Well, the overall theme this time, as you can see, was multilingualism and development. We had 3 sub-themes. One was looking at multilingualism in the context of very, very diverse urban areas, which have been under-researched in the developing world. All the implications associated with the provision of education services, health services and so on, in situations where there are many, many different languages. That's the first sub-theme. The second sub-theme was to do with the implications of digital technology for language, to what extent digital technology will help minorities, will it make the survival of dying languages easier, or does it constitute a threat to languages? And then the third sub-theme was to do with empowerment and the opposite of empowerment. To what extent are languages threatened by stronger, more prestigious languages, and to what extent can marginalized groups and their languages be empowered? It was a tremendously exciting conference. It's the 8th that I've participated in. They've all been good, they've all been very thought-provoking, and this has been tremendously thought-provoking. And I can see, even in today's presentations, all sorts of new ideas that need to be pursued, and potential for further research, potential for action. I think it's been a really tremendous conference. We've had participants from, I think, 40 countries, presentations from 20 different countries, and I think it's been an eye-opener to everybody, for everybody.
Yeah, I think there's been a real sense of willingness to try and tackle the many challenges that exist, as well as obviously a lot of discussion around what those challenges are. But I think it's been largely in a very positive way about what we can do to try to overcome them, or at least get some way towards overcoming them. I think for me, that's been one of the...
Sometimes when I go to conferences, I hear a lot of reports, people saying, we did this and it worked. A sort of complacency. That's not been the case here. There's been a very questioning approach. We did this and we need to think about the implications. We did this and we encountered problems. How can we tackle those problems? So it's been a very critical approach, questioning approach, but as you said, a very positive one as well.
And do you find that the conferences are quite different? I mean, I suppose they must be with different host organisations and different countries each time, but
yes,
do you find the flavour is different?
Yes, every conference has been different. For those reasons, if you're in a particular country, then of course the majority of the delegates and the majority of the presentations will be people from that country. In this case, I think just over half of the participants and presentations have been by people from India, and the other half from all over the world. So in that respect, of course, it has an Indian flavour. The language issues that have been talked about prominently, issues that concern India.
But I suppose it must be interesting to draw the parallels between them as well, the similarities between, I mean, you know, even though a lot of the presenters and the delegates have been from India, for those from other countries to be able to look at those, what's coming out and happening in India and compare it to whether it's similar or different to what's happening in
I've heard several people say, you know, yesterday I attended a presentation about X or Y, and I was amazed to learn what they're doing in that country, or the challenges that they face in that country. Yeah.
And just one final thing to highlight, as Debanjan Chakrabarti mentioned at the end there in the closing ceremony, about our hope that the legacy of the conference will continue, and I wondered if you could just say a few words about that.
This time we've tried, this is an innovation, to ask for lots of input from the participants. So at the end of every day, we've asked them to give us their thoughts about what further research is needed, and also what further action is needed. And we hope that, I've got a big bag full of the responses here, which I will take home and try to analyse. And we hope that this will give us, particularly first specifically for India, the foundation for a legacy programme. That we can implement over, I don't know how long, a year, 2 years. But we will also publish what we find in these suggestions, recommendations for action and research. We'll publish those, make them available for all the participants, so that they can perhaps use them as the basis for work in other parts of the world as well.
Sure, and for carrying on the debate and the discussion with their colleagues and partners. And we'll put more information about that legacy programme on our website, and again some details below with the text alongside the video. So thank you very much, Hywel.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview, but most of all, thank you so much for all of your guidance and support and advice with this conference.
It's been a tremendous experience, very challenging, very, very, very hard work, but tremendous support from the British Council as well.
Yes, and it was a big success in the end, wasn't it? Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.
And thank you.